supporters. Please clap. Economic power, 4 largest economies in the world. China in PPP, purchasing power parity, USA. Number 3, India. Number 4, Japan. Where is Europe? Missing in action. Let's take a look at the new World Wealth Report. 2020, India's privately held wealth is $8.2 trillion, the 6th largest in the world. And according to this report, by 2020, which is 8 years from now, the average Indian will have twice as much private wealth as the average German or the average British citizen. What do we spend it on? Eating better, looking better, studying better, communicating better, etc., etc. When I say looking better, 650,000, for those who are not familiar with India, 650,000 towns and villages in India and 15 million beauty parlors. So you can imagine how much money we spend on looking better, communicating better, 1.6 billion mobile connections for a 1.3 billion population and 1 billion smartphones. And you are all familiar with what this means, traveling better, etc. 2015 International Yoga Resolution, co-sponsored, introduced by India, co-sponsored by 177 of the 193 members of the UN, the largest in the history of the UN. And ma'am, the French ambassador sitting there, I was in the General Assembly, says, my country supports yoga because India is the spiritual mother of all mankind. What a beautiful thing to come from the French. In Yemen, when there was a civil war, we were asked to evacuate our nationals. All other countries were told, you can't come in to evacuate your nationals, only the Indian military. We trust them. I went to Paris the same year. We brought out 20,000 people from 40 countries. The immigration officer at Charles de Gaulle Airport sees my passport and says, you're an ambassador of India. I said, yes, I am. He said, well, you brought out 500 Frenchmen from Yemen. I said, if we made a mistake, we'll take them back. He says, no, sir. He gets up and salutes me and says, thank you, India. This is the new India that we are talking about. 1969, I don't know if any of you remembers, you're not old enough, but we were invited to the founding conference of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. When we got there, we were not allowed into the hall. We had been invited. We were booted out. We were thrown out. Water and electricity in our hotel was switched off. India did not have the strength to retaliate, ladies and gentlemen. 50th founding anniversary of the OIC last year. Who do you think is the guest of honor? Your country, India. So the military rebalancing today, take a look at this. The most powerful militaries. None of these are my figures. These are all UN, various agency figures. Most powerful USA spend a lot of money. Second, Russia. Third, China. Fourth is India. Where is Europe? Still missing in action. Result of these tectonic changes, 15% of the world that rule the other 85%, they don't know what is happening. The biggest disease in the developed world, ladies and gentlemen, is depression and loneliness. Britain even has a minister for loneliness. And they are training young people. They say they have 9 million lonely citizens. They are training people to be companions. I sent my photograph saying, these are all rich widows. I would love to be their companion. Then they responded to me, yes, we are lonely, but we are not that lonely. So we have depression, loneliness, while India is bubbling with self-confidence and energy. Thank you, we'll handle it ourselves. 2004 tsunami, Kashmir earthquake, Sikkim earthquake, Kedarnath floods, whatever. Not $1 we take from anybody now. We do it all ourselves. In fact, we help other countries in this. Just one humiliation. My colleagues, my friends from France, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you know what hunger is. Ask me. 65, we fought a war. The rains didn't come. 66, the rains didn't come. Mrs. Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, went to the US to beg for food. New York Times wrote, new Indian leader comes begging. She came back and she said, never again will we beg. And we were told, don't eat on Mondays. I have slept hungry throughout 1966. I have slept hungry on Mondays. Ask me what hunger is. And your country, which said feed us, is today the second largest producer of food grains in the whole world. For too long have others written India's destiny. A country that forgets its past, ladies and gentlemen, has no future. We remember our past. We made mistakes, but never again. I have spoken to over 7 million kids in India. And the promise they make me that they will write India's destiny themselves, not allowing anyone else to write. I touch my ears. I ask God to forgive me. They make this commitment to India and I make them a commitment. In a few years from now, I will leave my body and I will have a simple memorial which the Indian military has built for me in Kargil, the area that I love. It simply states, "Scattered in the dust, silent I remain. When India's bugle calls, I will rise again."